Hi, I'm Leona Swift-Silver, full-time bard, part-time matchmaker. I was an orphan, so the story goes, found in a stable in Ilvinus by the local lord. Richard Kentigan raised me as part of his family. Well, sort of. I had a happy childhood, filled with songs and parties and everything else that goes with court life. I was content to spend the rest of my life there, perhaps even marry my childhood sweetheart Roman. But, unfortunately, fate had other plans. Lord Kentigan passed suddenly and unexpectedly. I was blamed for his death and no longer welcome in the place I called home. Shortly after, however, I made some new friends. These new friends became like family to me. A grumpy dad, a dear sister, and a kid brother who is very good at magic. We've traveled the country together, making new friends and some enemies along the way. As for me, I still love storytelling and singing love songs and planning my friends' weddings, with or without their knowledge. I'm a firm believer in happily ever afters, and I believe there's one waiting for each and every person I meet. Under the guiding light of Sarenrae, I work to keep my friends safe from whatever may come our way. Personally, all I want out of life is to love and be loved in return, and maybe, one day, find a happily ever after of my own.
Sup, Kesra. Why am I doing this? Fine, okay. I'm Kesra Stormbreaker. You wanna know about me? Here we go. I'm from a shitty little town in the middle of nowhere. I left as soon as possible for a bigger town, and then left that as soon as possible. I had every intention of joining the Imperial Army and having an illustrious military career, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Instead, I joined a mercenary group, and I did that for about, 10 years? Went a lot of places, saw a lot of things, broke a lot of faces, and then I made the biggest mistake of my life. We don't have to go there. Instead, we'll talk about the second biggest mistake of my life, joining these idiots. I keep them safe, most of the time, or at least I try. They drive me crazy all the time. It's great. I don't really have a choice either. Paylor said I had to, or the world was gonna end. I'm that peachy. I like beer, gold, and minding my own damn business. My special talents include blending in and otherwise being completely average. On purpose, usually. What else? I have a horse that talks to me in my brain. Yeah, apparently I'm a paladin or something. It's complicated. Am I done now? No? What else do you want me to say? Okay, fine. Look, I'm not that complicated. As long as I can keep these assholes alive, everything's fine.
Hello, I'm Maudit Dubois. It's a pleasure to meet you. Where to start? Well, I was raised by a kind woman in a traveling circus, where I learned all kinds of tricks like how to read fortunes and gamble without losing. I eventually ended up in Wolfcrest, working with the Thieves Guild, until a question of morality had me fleeing the city with an orphaned goblin girl by my side. Unfortunately, she didn't make it. I traveled alone for a short while until I met Deirdre, and realized we'd be better off together. We met Leona in Inverness after she ran into some trouble with her family, and I made a wager against Kesra for her to take us to Azmoran for a wedding. Did I mention I'm not one to lose a bet? While in Azmoran, I was kidnapped by members of the Cult of the Dragon Queen, where I struggled between wanting to get rid of the wild, unpredictable powers that had brought me nothing but pain, and possibly learning to control them. But before I could delve deeper into the promise of mastering my curse, my friends found me and intervened on my behalf. It was almost the end of us all, and I left the cult with a sour taste in my mouth. It wasn't long after that I met a mysterious man named Zafaliar, who claimed to know about my birth mother. I also learned that he's an ancient black dragon and a consort of Tiamat herself. Not to mention, my father. Unsure if I can trust him, I take what he says with caution. He did save my life when I needed it most, but he is still an ancient black dragon. I'm continuing my quest to learn to control and harness my powers, if I can learn to accept them first.
My name is Deirdre Kelly, and I was born in a small village outside of Faybreach. My parents warned me to stay out of the forest, but even back then I was never very good at listening. That's where I met Ectiarn. When I was 17, a terrible explosion destroyed my home, and nearly destroyed me as well. Ectiarn saved me, taking me to his home in the Feywild. There, he took care of me. He became my protector, my mentor, and my warlock patron. He was also my first love. But I couldn't stay there with him forever. After 10 wonderful years, though only 2 had passed on the material plane, I was forced to flee the home I had come to know and love. I was lost, and I didn't know where to go. I found myself alone on a ship, and that's where I met Maudit. We traveled together for 2 weeks before coming across Leona and Kesra, and the rest is history. Or so I thought. It's never that simple, is it? I didn't quite realize that my patron had made a deal with the Queen of the Fae, staking his immortality on me and my choices. Choices that, I soon realized, had consequences. Despite my best intentions, Ectiarn succumbed to fatal wounds inflicted by the Mad Lich King, leaving me grieving, and without a patron. Enter the Whispered One. The god of secrets found me, and exploited a moment of weakness. The promise of Ectiarn's revival came at a terrible cost, one that I continue to pay, even to this day. Now, I must work to right my wrongs and protect my newfound family against this looming danger, and any other threat that arises.
I'm Camille, and I'm the Dungeon Master. What you need to know is that we are playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons in a world of my own creation called Sanmaria. We're using the Dawn War Pantheon, with a few special additions. You might recognize some Pathfinder flair, from the Oracle class to the Goddess Sarenrae. And you can find homebrewed monsters, items, and even entire races in this campaign. You might see me play a 5th member of the group, a young paladin named Ray. He met the party at the royal wedding of the first Lord Theo of Azmorin, and traveled with them for quite some time before they discovered he's actually the crowned prince of the Empire, and on a quest to save his endangered family, as the Empire is in the middle of a civil war. Underlying players to this open rebellion are being slowly revealed throughout the game, and the characters are choosing to remain neutral. For now. But these unlikely heroes face a much bigger threat. An insurmountable force threatens the prime material plane, taunting the characters from just beyond their horizon. At the same time, many factions work to their own ends, both for and against the party's personal objectives. The Divine Covenant seeks to protect the primal ban, while the Silence claims to root out corruption at its core. The cult of the Dragon Queen aims to raise their goddess from the 9 hells, and the Assembly still remains a mystery. Even the gods on high mean to meddle in the lives of these fated 4, to some unknowable end. These adventurers navigate trials from handling political intrigue to maintaining the balance of the cosmos, not to mention fighting their own personal demons. In a world where nothing is black or white, good or evil, Leona, Kesra, Deirdre, and Maudit must find a way to mark their own paths and claim their own destinies. Welcome to Open for Adventure.